to handle. But moving on, Fees Must Fall activist Bonginkosi Kanyile shall spend his Christmas behind bars, and EFF members have not taken too kindly to this. The followers of Malema expressed their displeasure in a way that has now become their trademark, through violence. The visuals on your screen show the EFF members getting into a scuffle with ANN7's cameraman, this without any provocation and despite a court interdict barring the party from inciting violence against ANN7 employees. Let's take a listen in now to how Julius Malema had threatened Oak Bay and ANN7 employees in Feb this year.
We don't want to see ANN7 anywhere. We don't want to see New Age anywhere in our event. We cannot guarantee the safety of those who are working in those studios and printing the factories of the New Age and ANN7. We cannot guarantee those who are working for the Guptas.
This is not the first time the EFF supporters have intimidated, harassed ANN7 staff, particularly because of the affiliation this channel has with the Gupta family, and we know the mandate that the EFF has with relation to the Guptas. Now, what happened today is just evidence to exactly that. We were outside court just after the bail judgment was set down and Bonginkosi Kanyile was denied bail. We went outside with other media houses, but however, we were the only targeted media house that was eventually even assaulted. Our cameraman that was on duty with me today was assaulted by EFF supporters, them saying that he works for the Guptas, he's not allowed to film anything related to the EFF, and them slapping him, punching him, pulling him from all directions.
We obviously condone the attacks on journalists, whether, any sort of intimidation or threats of violence or assault. We can't have journalists or media in our democratic society feeling threatened or intimidated when doing their jobs. We are in a much better position in South Africa than a lot of other countries. I think we do need to give recognition to that. That we're not, media freedom, although there are certain elements that are under threat, isn't as bad as made out to be, I think. But what we should, keep in mind is we're obviously seeing pieces of policy and legislation being developed at the moment.
South Africa has one of the most liberal institutions of bail in the world. The refusal of any serious bail, that is the Fee Must Fall activist, is a bit of a surprise. It's more than a bit of a surprise to me. I've done many appeals, accused, charged for murder. The state Mrs. Branco was charged for dealing with very, very serious narcotic drugs, and he was a foreigner, he was given bail. But my advice to the lawyers acting for the Fees Must Fall leader is to take this matter on appeal either to the full court or the Supreme Court of Appeal.
The attack is part of silencing any voices that raise critical questions or the truth about white capital, about the fact that South Africa is owned by white capital, the fact that white capital is corrupt. And so they are trying to silence that perspective so that we only have one perspective, and the perspective of white-owned media. EFF does not attack the Johan Rupert-owned ENCA, which spews one-sided views all the time to protect white capital, to create a narrative that misleads South Africans away from the truth of the matter of the fact that South Africa is still white-owned. But they will attack ANN7 because it provides a counter-narrative. So that is the problem. The problem is we are now being put in a situation of violence so that white voices, white perspectives, white media has total hegemony.
And this is not the first time EFF has got violent with an ANN7 employee. EFF Chief Whip Floyd Shivambu too had earlier targeted a reporter from the channel, again without provocation. Take a look.
Problem with the Gupta journalists?
They're not a journalist, they're a Gupta agent.
No. You have no right to say that.
I've got the right.
No, you have no right. No, you have no
I've got the right.
No, you have no right.
I've got the right to do that.
Where do you know that I'm an agent?
You're an agent of Guptas.
Where do you know that you have live on TV? I've got a program. I need to go.
Yeah, let me do an interview with people who are media, not you.
Okay, cool.